a super late morning this morning, and so pretty much all I can say today is hey and bye, right? Super late this morning on Wncr-Tv Now as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. Do hope you had a great yesterday, making today even better as we get closer and closer to the weekend on this Friday. Happy again Friday to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now. And we literally got, 17 minutes, 18 minutes, give or take, to have some conversations. So that's what we'll do. We'll have those 17 minutes or so to have some conversation here this morning on Wncr-Tv Now. Well, I guess I need to get myself on TV. That ought to help too. Again, good morning to each and every one of you. Last night was the forum. Was it actually a forum? It was just a gun violence meeting, I guess. Is that what it was called? I don't forget. But nevertheless, that happened last night at Truth Tabernacle Church in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 704 Arlington Street. Let me see what that thing was actually, what the official name of that thing was. Okay, it was a community meeting on gun violence and prevention and local resources. So, of course, that was last night at True Tabernacle Church. It was at 6 p.m. So, there was a lot of people there last night. I will say a number of individuals were there at True Tabernacle. There was a lot of information. It was and some good information, I would say, in which the Rocky Mount Police Department shared. And so I'll share some of that with you this morning as well. I did share the meeting on the WNCR TV Facebook page, courtesy of Camillus Butch Dancy, who recorded the meeting on yesterday. Or actually, made it, he live streamed, I'll say. Would probably be the better word to use. And because of that, you got a recording of it and copies of it that people can watch it at leisure. But when the city gave some couple of stats from 2024 to 25 year to date, so it's only taking consideration of January through July of last year. In that same span last year in 2024, it was only two murder events in Rocky Mount. And of course, this year is 7. So that equates to a 250% change in murder related events in our community. Same time, 2024 to 2025, there were 15 reported rapes. In 2025, 9. So that's a 40% reduction in that type of crime. Then there was robbery, and I believe this is commercial robbery. I forgot, robbery. Yeah, I guess. It was 24 in 2024, same time period. It was 7 year to date, which is a reduction of 71%. Then there was another NID robbery. I don't even know what they'll stand for. Independent robbery. So I don't interesting. Anyway, there were 32 of those and 19 this year. It means it's a 41% reduction. I know what aggravated assault is, though, AGG assault. It was 128 last year. This year's 119, which is a 7% reduction in aggravated assaults. And then violent, I guess that might be the total violent crime, which was 201 reported in 2024. With 2025 year-to-date 161, so there's still a 20% reduction in crime in our city based on what is reported. Now, in response to gun violence, city stats year-to-date, guns, they took 299 guns off the street this year thus far, 6 related to gangs. They had 20 cases, federal gun cases, arrests, 1,439 arrests. 169 were related to gangs. Citations, 1,830. Commercial breaking and entering with stolen guns, 2. Commercial breaking and entering with stolen guns. Residential with stolen guns, 3. Larceny for motor vehicles with stolen guns, 32. We talked about it before, how mainly your vehicles are left unlocked. You got a gun in it. You basically saying, hey, come take this gun. Response to stolen violence citywide, there was 122 juvenile arrests. Of those 122 juvenile arrests, 17 of them were related to guns with juveniles. And the Rocky Mount Police Department, these last two incidents where the murder occurred, one at Sunset Park and one at MLK, based on their technology equipment, they said the city officers have spent a total of 317 hours in MLK Park, as well as 146 hours in Sunset Park. Now, gun-related assaults in the last 30 days, of course, there were 12 total incidents. Aggravated incidents were 8. Aggravated assault, shooting into an occupied building or vehicle, 2. 2 murders. Both murders have arrest made or pending. Injuries, 6 incidents. A victim was wounded from the firearm. And I can't see. Oh, there we go. Juvenile incidents, 3. 6 victims, and then 2 offenders. So, and then they talked about, and of course you heard us mention this before, the technology the city council has invested into the Rocky Mount Police Department. A Fuchsia system connects city and business cameras, LPRs, and logistics for rapid response. Flock cameras capture vehicles, make model tags linked to violent crimes. Shot Spotter, which has been around for a long time now. Real-time gunfire detection and mapping, so it allows them, when they hear gunfire within about 60 seconds or so, can be able to triangulate that gunfire and put you in so many meters away from where the shot actually took place, in which they can begin an investigation. Resource router, a predictive protocol tool for high-risk areas. Then, of course, avionics, which is the camera system in the cars, all that kind of stuff. So a number of things that the Rocky Mount Police Department is doing. Another thing they also do is a co-responder program, which was launched in March of 2023 in partnership with Integrated Family Systems, Trillium, and East Point, embeds a licensed mental health clinician with officers to respond to behavior health, 911 calls. They've handled 76 crisis calls in the first month, reducing clinician response time from 45 to 18 minutes, aimed at diverting individuals from ER visits, jail, and connecting them to long-term care. Improves officers' efficiency by reducing time spent on non-criminal medical health calls, support mental health crisis response with on-scene assessment, de-escalation, and resource referrals. And there has been 730 mental health calls for service this year, and this is August 1st. Not sure how many they had on last night. So a wealth of information. There were a number of people who provide resources in the community from a number of organizations. There's probably, 13 or 14, maybe 15 people stood up with services or resources that they have and what they're doing to be proactive in the situation, also responsive. There's something you got to react to, and otherwise that could be triggers that would lead on to a repeated situation again. So those are things to also think about as well. So again, all in all, I would say a great meeting as well, dealing with gun violence in our community. And there were some people who we also saw at Word Tabernacle Church the other night, came out on Thursday, last night as well. So that shows their commitment to working with and finding out different things related to gun and criminal activity in our city. And of course, last night meeting was just really pertinent to guns in our city because of the recent shootings that have occurred in our community. So we are keeping those families in prayers as well that are having to bury or have already buried their loved ones. And I forgot to say good morning on my own Facebook page. There we go. Just did that. Now let's real quickly say these Facebook shares because in 9 minutes, I'm getting up out of here today. And good morning to Betty Archambault, Allison Williams, Chris Braswell, and William Manley. Good morning to you indeed. Thank you for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. Of course, today is Friday, so that means that we are serving fish at Pop's Diner. We open from 11 till 6 p.m. this morning. 11 to 6 p.m. this morning. Of course, the mini budget, bipartisan support from from the General Assembly. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, kind of looked at some of the things that it entailed. So we'll see what ultimately happens with that. I'm pretty sure the governor will go ahead and sign that, and the legislature will go back sometime or another and continue to work on the rest of the budget. So we shall see what happens with that whole situation. Let's see here. What else is going on in our community this morning? Of course, today is the first day that we have no permanent chief in place, as yesterday was Chief Hassel's official final day as the chief of police for the city of Rocky Mount. And so we are looking at that. We're looking at that as well. What else is going on? I saw something. It's not local news, but I gotta look at that in a few moments as well. And of course, the tariff conversation continues to go on with a number of countries that President Donald Trump has signaled agreements with dealing with exchanges. And so we'll see what that looks like. Also looking at the job report number that should come out as well. They say stocks drop after Trump's make his tariff plan clear. U.S. Stock futures are being pulled lower by the White House plans for higher tariffs and threats of more to come. The U.S. economy added 73,000 jobs in July. It's not a good morning for importers of Swiss watches. So that's interesting. I thought the jobs report would come out a little bit later. So employment growth petered out in July and previous months. Gains were substantially weaker than initially reported, according to the data released Friday from the Labor Department. The U.S. added about 73,000 jobs last month. In May and June, payroll gains were revised down by 258,000 jobs. During those months, net gains to 19,000 and 14,000, respectively. The unemployment rate rose to 4.2% from 4.1%. Economists say they were expecting a report to show a slowdown in job growth that's higher across. The vast majority of industries were weak. They anticipate 115,000 jobs added and unemployment rate at a 4.2, according to the FactSet consensus estimates. So there you go. The economy is what it is at the end of the day, but oftentimes it is hit upside the head, I'll use that analogy, by not quite understanding what's going on in the global market space, particularly with tariffs, and then what does that cost American businesses to be able to do what they do. And so they can't per se estimate their profits and losses. At the same time, they can't get their parts to do all of this type of stuff. And so it just puts you in a real crazy space at the end of the day. Puts you at a real crazy space. But we'll live through these times, and hopefully we'll get to some sense of stability sooner than later. And then other pieces going on is North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis said he is not in favor of a nuclear option to speed up the process of nearly 160 people or judges who are looking for confirmation. So that's something going on as well. So 160 people or judges who are looking for confirmation. The process is Democrats say, hey, let it take its time. And they say, well, what about the ones that's not even highly controversial? Let's go ahead and move those through so we get them in place. And the Democrats who are in the U.S. Senate are saying, let's go through the normal process and do our normal deliberation as to what it would take to do it. And so obviously that will take some time to do, unless they're able to ink out the Senate to say, well, let's change the landscape. And I do think that could be a catch-22 for them, because if they do it, you could have people in these states in which I think it's going to be easy to win these Senate seats to change on them, and then they could be change the rules to a nuclear option, and a Democratic Senate could get in and say, you know what, if that's how you want to play, we'll play like this too. Now, I don't think Democrats will do that because they haven't been known to do that, but the option, the thought process is always there, and that's what people kind of think about the what if situation. So that's that. So we'll see about that. Let's see. Good morning, Kathy Ford, Lucy Boyer, Candy Staten. Come on down to Pop's Diner Sunday or today. I know they're going to have some bikers there on Sunday. So I don't know how many are coming, so they can be in the parking lot. So that's going to go on. They're doing something. Speaking of gun violence, I'm just finding out my car was shot while I was on Tarboro Street. Ain't that crazy? And, of course, discharging a firearm in the city limits is a crime in itself. So shooting a gun while in the city limits of Rocky Mount is a chargeable offense as well. And, of course, shooting a motor vehicle is yet another charge. Good morning, also to Gloria Break. Thank you all for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now. And, of course, while the weather is what it is, I'm going to make my way to do things in and around the community. So, again, told you it would be a very short show today as I got here super late today. But nevertheless, we'll be back with you on Monday to do it all over again. If you get a chance, check out the video that's on the Wncr-TV Facebook page of the gun violence meeting that took place last night at Truth Tabernacle Church in Rocky Mount. Like I said, I don't know if he showed the audience or not, but it was a well-attended audience for a Thursday night for people who are committed and concerned about gun violence in our community and access information and real-time data as well. So because there were these events that happened almost at the same time, it gives us heightened awareness. We've got something going on wrong in Rocky Mount. And truthfully, anytime I think you got some criminal activity going on, you got to figure out how to address it. But also the heightened exposure makes us think that it's far greater than what it is. And overall, we see that crime is down in our city based on reported crime. Now, of course, there's a lot of crime oftentimes go on that's not reported. So you got to do that's another thing for another day. But at least the reported crime is what people are exposed to, aware of. And so that's kind of where we get our consensus from. So ultimately, we're down in crime, but we're also up in areas such as murder in our community. And again, I think that deals with what one person talked about, programs. And I'm always a big component of conflict resolution. How do we embed that in every aspect that we do? I'll see you in the streets if you live in Ward 3. And I'll see you on Monday for WNCR TV viewers. We appreciate you. Have a great weekend and stay as cool as possible.